Okay, welcome back. So today I'm going to reply to a few comments about an SP and how to robotically affirm to get your SP. So again, I have made videos about just robotic affirmations and I have made videos about just trying to get your SP, but I haven't made a video directly how to use robotic affirmations to get your SP. And on top of that, I do want to say one thing that I have been, looking in the community and seeing. Some of you guys are doing robotic affirmations like really, really wrong. So I'm going to discuss that in today's video as well. I think I might actually make a video in general just to talk about some of the stuff you guys are doing wrong, especially when it comes to robotic affirmations, whatever. But yeah, let's talk about it. Let's get into how to use robotic affirmations to manifest your SP. But before we get into that, if you do want to have direct, possible one-on-one coaching with me where you can put your circumstances in this chat and I can reply to you directly and you can give me your circumstances in detail, then it is the bottom link in the description, theschool.com. Click that link and sign up. And again, I highly recommend you buy the annual pack, but if you want to do monthly, you can do monthly. Because again, if you do the annual pack, you can stay there for a full year. But yeah, if you do want help with me, join the school link at the bottom of the description. Okay? Let's get into it. Let's talk about robotically affirming and how to use robotic affirmations to manifest your SP and what you guys are doing wrong. And let's actually start with that. Let's start with what you guys are doing wrong first. We'll get to the tips and tricks part after. We'll revert it later on. Let's talk about what you guys are doing wrong when it comes to using robotic affirmations to manifest your SP. The number one thing you guys are doing wrong, and I see this all the time, I can't stop seeing it now because it's like a confirmation bias to the point, and maybe it's probably just my assumption when it comes to some of you, and that is you people do robotic affirmations and then you immediately ask yourself and look into 3D, where is it? You guys do robotic affirmations for maybe 15% of the day. And again, you don't have to do robotic affirmations for 100% of the day or even 30% of the day. All that really matters is that when you think about your desire, you naturally go to the new you. That's all you really have to do. You can think about it like once a day, but robotic affirmations, it does, it gives you more of a progress meter. It gives you more saturation. So that's why people love robotic affirmations. But there are so many of you who literally cannot stop wavering. You robotically affirm, you feel good for like 5 minutes of the day. And for the rest of the day, you guys are looking around saying, well, I'm robotically affirming in my head every now and then throughout the day. But in your head, you're having these like mental disagreements and these arguments and you're imagining horrible things that you and your SP are doing. It's like, yeah, no wonder why you're not getting what you want. When you robotically affirm, I say this all the time, you still can't waver. I always say, and I'll say it again, the golden rule is just affirm, don't waver. You guys are pretty good at doing the first part, just affirm. But when it comes to wavering, you guys can't really extinguish the wavering part. You just can't extinguish it. It just keeps coming back, it keeps lighting up. You have to extinguish the wavering part. You cannot contradict it. You have to think as the new you. So what do? Well, you tell yourself you have it more and more and more and more. And like I always say, when it comes to robotic affirmations, the reason why they're so good and the reason why people get so many success stories with them is because when they try to robotically affirm or they're trying to do research on robotic affirmations, they usually hear that you don't have to feel it. And that's true. You don't have to feel it. You don't have to feel it. You don't have to even imagine it, even though I do, like I said into it like 2 or 3 videos ago, I do believe that you do naturally have those images anyways. But your goal is just to repeat in your head that you have it with absolutely no belief or no conviction at all. You don't have to get into the Sabbath, as Neville would say. You don't need to get into the knowing. all you have to do is just not waver. You don't have to believe it. You don't need to feel something in your heart that says, oh, I know I have this. No, your goal is just to change your dominant assumption. Your dominant assumption, you will know when it has changed when you naturally answer questions in your imagination as the new you. Once you get to that part, then you know you have shifted. If you haven't got to that part, then yeah, stop wavering. Stop wavering. You're too focused on the journey. Stop wavering. So the way you manifest your SP, so to get into the second part of this video, the way you manifest your SP, if it's, romantic or not, I don't really care. The way you manifest any person for whatever reason is you robotically affirm, again, not the entire day, but whenever you have time, when you could listen to music, instead of listening to music, you robotically affirm. You can find other times in the day where you're thinking about stupid thoughts, you can just robotically affirm. You robotically affirm saying, I have my SP now. And I would highly recommend that when you say, I have my SP now, I highly recommend you do use words like, I easily got my SP, or I easily manifest really quickly, or I'm so good at manifesting SPs. I'm so good. I'm just a person that can manifest so easily when it comes to romance or romantic, whatever thing you want. I do recommend you use terms like easily in there. And the reason why I recommend you do also say I am is because when you say I am, you naturally also change your self-concept, because again, your self-concept is essentially just whatever I am is, like whatever you say after I am. But yeah, that's how you do it. You affirm, you don't waver, and you robotically affirm throughout the day with absolutely no care in the world that you feel any emotion at all. It does not matter at all. You can, and by the way, not only do you not need to feel anything, the people who do say you do need to feel are really, really fucking stupid. Because you're telling me that these billionaires who are like eating children on an island, you really think that these people are grateful every day that they have billions of dollars in the bank account? Of course not. They're not grateful at all. You think these people are grateful for? No, it's normal. So all these people who say, oh, you need to feel it real, or you need to feel emotion, or you need to be in the frequency, they're absolute idiots. You don't need to feel anything at all when you're affirming, because at the end of the day, it's your dominant thoughts that manifest, not your dominant feelings. Feelings are a manifestation of your thoughts anyways. Your goal is to make it feel natural to you. And when something is natural to you, you don't really feel it all the time. You don't really feel happy or grateful for it all the time. And you know this because you yourself have plenty of things in your life now that a couple of years ago or like a decade ago, you said, I will be so happy if I have this, like a new phone or new car or moving out of your parents' house, whatever it may be. You don't really think about it anymore because you don't care. You're not, sure, you have a deep knowing that yes, you are a little bit grateful, but you don't really feel happy all the time about it. So yeah, you don't need to feel anything. When it comes to manifesting your SP, all you have to do is robotically affirm. Again, assuming you're using robotic affirmations, you can just visualize, which I do all the time. I do image thinking, like I think of the image as well. But robotic affirmation, if you are manifesting with robotic affirmations, you do not need to feel anything. All you have to do is affirm in your head. You could affirm in your head thousands of times a day. You could affirm in your head only 500 times a day. Your goal is to your dominant natural thoughts to change. Again, if you are someone who has a lot of resistance, I actually do recommend you affirm like 5,000 times a day for like the first 2 days and just see what happens. Because again, you're trying to like normalize it to yourself. But you just affirm. Don't worry about the feeling. Don't worry about if you're in the state either. Like that, all that stuff comes later. Like you'll know. If you affirm, you'll be in the state. You just don't waver. That's the main problem with you guys. You cannot waver. Robotic affirmations are you lock in, you affirm as much as you can, you make it a habit of affirming that you have this. And again, you can affirm with one affirmation and you can affirm with 10,000 affirmations. It doesn't matter. I sometimes have affirmed with one affirmation and I've affirmed with 4 or 5 affirmations, repeating in my head. and then you'll saturate your mind and you'll get your desire. You affirm first, don't feel anything, and then you'll get it. Okay, just affirm and you'll get it. It's basically that simple. And you can know that you're doing it right by the interview technique or the intruder technique. Again, just, see my videos from yesterday or something. If you are worried if you have shifted, you can ask yourself questions. Do I have this? And then the first answer you get, that is your current dominant state. So yeah, don't worry about feeling. When you're manifesting your SP, don't worry about feeling. Don't worry about emotion. Just affirm. Make time for affirming. And don't waver. Don't waver throughout the day when you're not affirming. That's basically it. There's not really that many rules. So yeah. So I made that video. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's it for today's video. If you do want to have one-on-one coaching with me, kind of one-on-one, it's in a group chat. Again, the bottom link in the description on school.com. And yeah, make sure to like and subscribe. And yeah. Bye.